everyone. Welcome to my weekly Meltdown's coverage of Survivor 42
of the challenge.
of the challenge.
This is after dark hours for
Big
Allison.
Challenge Brothers
Excuse her,
Survivor
everyone.
59. I'm Allison. Sorry, I was yawning. It's been a long day.
It's
been a
past
long
your
week.
bedtime.
I'm an old woman, yes. So
Allison, I just have a quick question to start off the show.
Yes.
Jonathan said that he eats 18 eggs every morning for breakfast. I just am wondering, how much would that cost at Waffle House if Jonathan ordered 18 eggs?
If you order 18 eggs, I think it's an extra $2 to add 2 eggs or something like that, to add an egg or something. Whatever. But I haven't been to Waffle House in 6 months,
Yeah.
So I don't know how much it is.
was-
Newsflash. Listen, I've been busy. I'm a grandma on Saturday nights now. Okay, so Sunday morning we're not. I'm up.
Shouldn't you be in teaching Cloud the southern ways of Waffle House?
I cannot, as a grandmother, take my grandson to Waffle House and make him watch me eat a Waffle House waffle without being able to do it himself. I feel that's abuse.
Just blend it up and put it in his formula.
Listen,
It's like a little baby milkshake.
Listen, don't even
That
get me
probably
started.
tastes really good.
Gross. That's like drinking throw up. I don't know. Spit up. I don't know. But no, when he gets older, we'll take him to the Waffle House. It's better than Applebee's.
True. Yes, and that is a beautiful transition, Allison, into talking about all things merge here tonight on my weekly meltdown and everything. And we have with us our patron, Adrian. How are you doing, Adrian?
I am doing really well. This season has been amazing so far, way better than 41. I can't wait to talk about honestly, I think a really good merge episode because of the hourglass, and also I just want to commemorate the episode anniversary of Erica smashing the hourglass by wearing the Erica Truther shirt today. So this one,
cool.
So yeah, I can't wait. This a great season so far. The gameplay has been amazing, but also a little bit messy. The characters we have left after tonight is also amazing. The cast is killing it, and the confessional spreads are way better than 41. Thank God. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about this hourglass episode tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go. What do you think?
I'm going to state a couple very obvious shared opinions among most people. One, thank God they made it 1 2-hour episode this season. It makes it so much better than that was so horrible last season. I'm so happy they did that. 2, I love the tweaks that they made to this. If they had to still do the hourglass thing, I'm happy that they gave some information out about it. And Drea's a queen for clocking it. That's amazing. And 3, I have to say, I respect people who don't agree with me on this, but I have to say that I am loving this season. This season, because of the cast and because we already know some of the twists and all that kind of stuff from last season, I just think it works so much better. We have Tori's a really good villain, but we've got all these people who have different advantages and power, and it's not just the Ricard and Shan show. It's the High, Omar, Marianne, Jonathan. You just go. Roxroy had his moment this season. Romeo had moments tonight. There's so many things and so many people who are coming out of the woodwork. I just think overall it was just a really great 2-hour episode, and I don't think it was a waste of time. And I'm thankful that we got some time to get to know some of these stories that we haven't gotten to know. It was good.
Yeah, you know what I like just to piggyback off of that, Beth, I feel like I'm really loving this season. We're getting lots of little pockets of 2 people that could be an interesting alliance. Tonight we saw Mike and Drea. We saw Hai and Romeo. We saw
Mike and Jonathan.
Lots of little crossroads of 2 people that haven't met yet, but we like the editing like so far this season has just been like phenomenal, because like we understand all of these people's intentions. We understand like how these like random groups of two are coming together, and it feels so equal. It feels so spread in like such a good way, you know, like it's like spreading like the perfect like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like it's just like even the whole
Perfect
way,
Nutella
and it
sandwich.
tastes so good. Yes. So I'm very happy with it so far.
I also want to add, like, I've done another thing I love about this episode is that we finally see some tribal dynamics form and camp life. We finally see a lot of alliances form. We finally got to know people. Like, even if like whoever wins out of this final 11, at least I got to know them on a personal level. Besides last year, like we barely got much from Erica, which I'm so happy that Erica won last season. But like we didn't get to know much about her besides like being from Canada and a Filipino, because we learned about her in the Hourglass episode. We haven't got enough of her in the pre-merge, barely. So that's what I really enjoy, finally seeing like camp life. And
Can
the
you guys
dynamics
hear?
form.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you hear my neighbor walking around in heels? That
Is it a neighbor?
No.
This is a new building. I don't know of anybody who has died here.
So
we'll get into that later.
Well, first of all, I could hear it a little bit.
I heard it. I did.
In Overwatch, like there's this enemy character called Widowmaker, and she has these heels, and her heels are so loud, like you can hear her like from like a mile
here comes
away.
the Widowmaker. Maker.
Yes, exactly. Widowmaker. Yeah,
Maker.
She's a sniper, so she's supposed to be quiet, but like her heels are just like as loud as your neighbors. Anyway, yeah, I like, where do we start with this 2 hour?
Also,
well, where we start is by saying hello to the people in the chat.
Hello to the chat.
Yes, go ahead.
We've got a lot of people. We've got Linda Maxwell, Matt, Pokey, Mon, and 9. I'm say his name right today. Let's see who else we've got.
We got
Juan Washington Cruz, Monster Cat Twoo,
DM Rocks,
who says this is his favorite show. Thank you so much. Man, I'm the worst person to read people. Listen, here's what's got to happen. John P. Music, Sparkle says what? This is where I am in life, people.
We have Dominic and Dolores.
Yes, everyone. Who did I miss? Some people? Am my eyes on?
No, I think you're good.
I'm glad some people in Beth's Twitch stream understands my reference. Thank you.
What is it? What?
Okay, so yeah, I guess like, do we start at the tribal council? I was surprised that there was no advantages used tonight. No advantages. No.
Yeah,
and I really expected Marianne to.
I legit thought she was going to use her idol. I legit thought she was going to use her idol when she said like, "Oh, I'm going to take the biggest risks tonight." So I'm like, I'm surprised she didn't use it.
Yeah, but obviously that risk paid out for her. Like, and so that biggest risk of her life was not playing the idol tonight. And she did even get a few votes coming her way tonight. So very impressed that she was able to hold on to that. But I feel like tonight's like I have like 2 MVPs in mind for tonight's performance, if you will.
Omar.
I think one has to go to Omar, and the other I think has to go to
Hi,
Drea.
Brandon. Sorry, I had to say hi.
Drea and Omar.
Yeah. So Omar, like he really like and I feel like this is like a new like almost like an evolution of strategy, if you will, to reference RHAP. Yogi says, if RHAP is Romeo, my weekly meltdown is Marianne. Yes, because we just will never shut up, no matter how much Jeff wants us to.
People have been telling me to shut up since August 2015.
Yeah,
it ain't happening.
No, it ain't happening. But no,
I'm just saying that won't come out of your underwear. Okay, I'm done.
That is true. Who just came in? I just heard the door open.
Yeah, I heard the door creak too.
I did too.
My cat. It was my cat.
Okay.
Oh,
your face just got like you were scared, and I was like,
"Well, we'll get into that at the end of the show because something happened." But go ahead,
boy.
Tyler. Bless your heart. I'm gonna shush. I'm gonna mute myself.
No, thank you, thank you. So I feel like we saw like a new kind of strategy evolve tonight, and that was weaponizing the fact that you don't have a vote in a good way. So we saw Omar like he didn't have a vote, therefore he didn't have agency in a very unpredictable, like very topsy turvy merge episode where like it could go any way, right? Especially with like the tribes coming so evenly into this merge, and I loved his confessional tonight where he said, "I don't have a vote. I want everybody to know that so I can just sit back and shut up." And that's exactly what he did. And he was listening so well that he took this little crack in the alliance when Lydia said, "Yeah, I'd be willing to turn on the 8," and was able to just like turn the whole narrative around in his favor and really just go to bat for the Orange tribe in a way that was so much more effective than anybody having their vote. When like Lindsay was even like considering turning on Marianne tonight, like she thought that that's where it was going, but Omar like really was the glue that kept that Orange tribe so strong together. And I'm so impressed with just his like strategic and social maneuvering throughout this entire merge episode. It was very, very, very impressive.
Also, I just want to comment Matt Hennings saying like basically Omar said, "Hey Chanel, take notes." Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Chanel should have taken those notes. Like, okay, I still love Chanel like on Twitter and on social media, but she should have gone up to Omar immediately and been like, "Hey, like, so I was at my trouble and I saw that I lost my vote, and I probably figured that you lost your vote as well. That was completely by accident. I'm so sorry about that. Please forgive me. Whatever you do, I go with you." That's what she should have done. But she kept it
Absolutely.
hidden, and guess what? Hyde legit exposed her, and now Homer doesn't trust Chanel. So
she's had so many missteps since that like that journey was the worst thing for her game.
Yep.
It literally was. And I will go back to it.
Yep.
It all went down to that decision for her to risk her vote. If she had just protected her vote, like Lydia would have gone
She
a
would have
few
been
episodes
golden.
ago.
She would have been golden.
Yeah.
And
but the fact sorry, go ahead, Beth.
Sorry. So she would have so Lydia would have been gone a few episodes ago. Daniel and Chanel still would have been a power duo in the game. And it's likely that Hai would have left instead of Daniel if they had lost another immunity challenge, which dramatically changes the relationships going into this post-merge situation. Well, quote unquote merge, I should say, not post-merge situation. So, and she is in such a vulnerable spot in this tribe. It's going to be really fascinating to see what happens. But and it's just also interesting to see what are the things that they showed her saying at Tribal, because she's the one at Tribal being like, you have to be really authentic and transparent with people when everyone now knows not to trust her. So I don't think anyone's listening to her at that point. And so she's not even doing anything that's like really helping to save her ass either.
Yeah,
Actions
it's all
louder
just
than words.
it's
Yeah,
all just so
basically.
bad with Chanel. Like, of course, like we you're right, Adrian, like Chanel should have gone to Omar right away to start like planting seeds, but Hai beat her to it. I feel like every scene we just saw like Chanel's position just get totally passively decimated. And like I'm just so like I can't take it when I'm watching like an awkward situation play out. Like when Hai was like, "Lydia, come over here," because he saw her, and they were like, "Yeah, so like we're all feeling really good about you," and she was like, "Really?" And they were like, "Yeah." Oh, what was
Go
that?
ahead. No, listen. Okay.
It's just lots of lightning behind.
There's shit
Allison.
going
I
on.
didn't see.
I'm telling you, I might poof. I don't know.
But yes, I hope you don't poof, Allison. But yeah, like so Chanel, like even her convo with Lydia was not good. So like Chanel was like coming out of that convo like looking even terribly, like more terrible than the merge boot that went tonight. You know what I mean? Like that is like how badly of a position that Chanel is in, and it's all just so bad.
I would not be surprised if I would not be surprised if she's the real merge boot next week. Like, I feel like if they decide to do a second chances, I really hope Chanel really takes notes from this season and basically kind of like rework what she did wrong, and then hopefully she can learn from her mistakes. But yeah, it's
I'm
not
gonna
looking
go
good.
out on a limb and say something that could be somewhat controversial. And so, hot take alert.
Oh boy.
I think if you play a lot of social strategy games, when you get on a show like this, you are inherently a worse player than you would have been, because you big brain too much to the point where you doubt yourself, to the point where you convince yourself, and then you just like her making that leap in faith in a judgment situation. I think honestly came from not being able to think like clearly about what she just went through with Omar on that journey and what she should do. What did she tell Omar, and what would his actions be based off of that? She couldn't think of that because she was too busy going, oh, well, what if I, flipped it this way? She was like the guy in The Princess Bride who's like, well, maybe you put the poison in my cup. And like, that's what happens if you play a lot of orgs and minis and real life reality games and those kind of things, which we know that she does. Doesn't mean that she's a bad player, but it means that when you get into
totally.
such a huge platform of a situation, we're seeing it with Tori too.
Yeah,
like Tori was
totally.
a very capable player on Sequester, and this episode starts with her being absolutely like, could you vote me out of this game? Like, I mean, like that's literally like, what was she trying to achieve with Roxroy? Like, it was so frustrating to watch because we know that these people have such incredible talents, but it just, you get too big brained. I think that's the issue.
I feel like that's the Audrey Middleton effect. Like you played on a really good org, and then once you get on your favorite show, boom, it's just gone downhill from there.
I have a thought. Mm-hmm. I have a hot take to go along with your hot take, Beth. I think the challenge needs Tori.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what the challenge is lacking is messy women like Tori, and like messy women in terms of like entertaining us, not like anything outside of a television show or anything. But like at least like I'm so enjoying Tori as a villain because like she understands the assignment of reality television, and just when you think she's gone, she wins this like Hail Mary immunity challenge tonight. Which was honestly very impressive because it would have been her tonight if it wasn't for that. Sorry, I'm like slamming the table, but I don't blame her for being pissed at Roxroy. Seeing that like Roxroy was willing to break the glass to make Tori not safe. Like he basically told everybody like I'm more loyal to Drea and Romeo than Tori. She's the sacrificial lamb I'm okay with, not these other people, right? So I thought she had every right to be pissed, and then just kind of channeled that into adrenaline for the challenge tonight.
Also, hold on, I got 2 more points. One, I just realized that I feel like Tori is kind of like a younger version of Beth from the challenge. She like that villain that you love to hate, but like.
I can see that.
And 2, okay, I know that the Orange team didn't know that the hourglass twist is happening, but if Jeff said that you are giving someone who is going to exile power, why would you like double down on someone like, we're not going to take them. Oh, wait, they have power? Oh, we're still not going to take them.
Yeah.
And what, like, seriously?
And it's not that it's just power. He said it was power to change the game. So you should, and if he's emphasizing, are you sure none of you want to go?
Yeah.
That should be a little, we might not be as safe as we think we are in this game.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Thank you, Drea.
Before the contestants came to the beach for the challenge, Jeff was whispering into the camera. Like, why the fuck are you whispering into the camera, Jeff Bros? No one's around. They're miles away. No one can hear you. No one cares.
Yeah, the award is Applebee's.
Yeah, I'm completely tuned out. Like, all I'm doing is judging you, and I don't even hear you.
My favorite part was when he went, hey, oh my God, they're coming. I have to hurry up. And then they panned over to them being at least a football field away.
They were yards away.
They were 120 yards.
That's right.
Away from Jeff Probst. And he was still like, guys, I have to hurry because I have no power as the executive producer and host to stop them in this situation from approaching me as I talk to this camera.
I'm going rogue. I'm just going to start telling you what's going to happen. I'm going to start, just going to start telling you. And I'm going to crouch down like I'm really, like I stole this camera and I'm paying the guy behind it. This has gone too far. But
it would have only been better if he had started talking like with an Australian accent and tried to be like, all right, guys, crikey, over here we found a survivor. Now they're very, very at this time. That when they're very hungry, they may turn on each other. And let's see what happens when we poke it with a stick. Like that would have been amazing.
Yeah, and my other favorite part of apparently we're giving out participation trophies in the form of rice now. Is that a thing?
I don't think that's a fair assessment.
You lost. You lost.
They
have no food.
Applebee's date
You
night.
can't give them one little thing of rice.
Eat the flying beetles. There's
It's better
some
than
of
the
those.
stew last
There's
season.
a worms somewhere. It's a coconut in a tree.
They did it last season though, Tim.
Okay, well, I had a problem with it then. And my other favorite part was when he was whispering and I'm yelling downstairs, oh, here we go again. And my husband comes running out from up his office. Says, what happened? I go, Jeff Probst is fucking whispering again. And he's like, I'm going back to my office.
Yeah. I also want to talk about anyone else want to get their tickets on the Marianne is Winning train tonight?
I've been on that train since the premiere,
Yep.
so
I got tickets. Anyone got? Y'all want to get tickets?
I'm the conductor. Yeah.
Marianne is like, wow.
Man, I don't know.
love
I'm
her.
riding high on Mike right now, Adrian.
I'm with you,
because,
Allison.
are you with me, or are
Mike
we gonna
too. Mike
make
too.
this
Mike
awkward and
too.
agree to disagree,
Mike too.
like in the tribal council? Let's both say the same exact
agree.
thing and then act
I
like we're
agree.
disagreeing. Mike, I'm on the Mike train. What about you, Beth?
No, I agree. It's Marianne, but like I agree, Allison. You know, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Tyler Allison and Andrew Gibson and I were chatting during the episode, and I said, I think Mike is a sleeper, and I think that I really like Drea, but where Drea's issue is where I completely agree with what Andrew Gibson said in our chat. She has so many advantages and powers and such. Will this come to bite her? And especially now, since they all shared all this information to be an 8 and then just kind of dissolved a little bit, is Hai going to be as understanding? Is he going to want to keep her in there? He's got the amulet. He's probably going to want to get rid of her. She told Omar that she has the extra vote, right? So there's all these things. So are people going to want to eventually target her? But I think what helps her is that she seems to be much more grounded than a person like Shan or Ricard were. Like, I think Ricard was more grounded than Shan, and I say this with affection, Ricard was much more full of himself than Drea appears to be.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that she has a sense of level-headedness and bluntness and like, I'm just going to do what I want. And I feel like people respect that with her. She doesn't come off like a snake. And I think that if she can keep that power in check and keep everybody else in check, I see her going very far in this game too.
Totally.
But we'll see.
And what I think is like the difference between, and this is what I said in our group, what I think is the difference between I believe that Drea will do the proper thing with these advantages, with these idols, all of this stuff, compared to Shan, who got a little hungry, got a little thirsty, but hungry and thirsty for the power mainly, right? But like I just feel Drea is like a little older, a little wiser, and that life experience really makes you think a little more conservatively in terms of I don't know, just not like being like emotional in the moment and doing something like irrational. My only worry was the fact that she did say that she has that extra vote to Omar.
Yeah.
If I were her, I would use that right away because the longer that that little bit of knowledge is in the game, the longer it can come back to bite you if Omar doesn't like how the plan's like shaking out, you know. So that's my only thing is just be careful of that. But I've really liked that convo with Mike and Drea. Like I liked the whole like Mike saying be careful with Chanel and Drea saying be careful with Tori. Yeah, it was a very like wise, mature sharing of information, if you will, and I think it's going to work out for both of them.
And it was interesting too that they didn't bring in Marianne as the third person they know who has the idol when she got back. And I think that speaks to them understanding Marianne's safe. Let's have each other's back. And then when it flipped, instead of going to her and being like, we got your back, I think they are smart enough to realize two of us with an idol can help each other. When we bring in a third person, that's where things can get a little crazy. So I think that was actually really smart.
Yeah. Especially because Marianne, like her, I actually disagree, Adrian, that I feel like her merge episode edit tonight was actually really bad.
I thought it was really bad too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, in terms of like Jeff like calling out in Tribal, like that she just like can't shut up for 2 seconds. And I don't know if that's like how it is, which I feel like it is because like Jonathan's saying it in every confessional, but also like Jeff probably just doesn't know how to handle a woman. So like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but either way, just like not a good look tonight. And you're right, Beth, like not a good look that they kept her very intentionally out of that conversation.
Yeah. And
I do.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like the reason that I said that is because she had that like one like confessional moments, like she was like kind of like socializing with everybody with like Romeo, Mike, and now like Tori a little bit, and her telling Tori about like she said I forgot what she said, like something about like a problem in the future is a shield for the future. I forgot the exact quote, but like something that was a very good quote.
But it was funny because the quote actually didn't make sense. It's not a shield for the future, it's a shield for now. If it's a problem in the future, it's a shield for now. It's not a shield for the future.
The birch boot, not further
correct.
than that.
So it was that. So there was just, that was actually a part where I was like, are we supposed to like that quote? Because I don't know if she said it effectively. So I thought that was interesting. But I just generally think that like, it's not so much the Marianne talks portion that like whatever, people get annoyed with people's idiosyncrasies and stuff all the time on these shows. What I saw a lot of was people not including Marianne. Like Omar saved Marianne tonight. Marianne didn't do anything to save herself, not because she didn't want to, but because she knew she couldn't. So she had to let somebody else do that for her. And so her best move that she made tonight was, I'm going to spend the afternoon essentially saving face and trying to keep myself cool. And then I do think that I will now contradict myself. Actually, her best move was not playing the idol, because I didn't think she was going to play the idol. When she said, I'm making the biggest risk tonight, I went, oh, she's not playing the idol. I actually thought for a second, I was like, is she dumb enough right now to be playing the shot in the dark? Because that would be dumb. Don't do that. So I knew that when she said that she wasn't going to be playing an idol. So that's what I thought was really interesting. I can't wait to see if she flourishes out of this, because there's some people, when they hit this little bump in the road, this little snag, they're not being included in conversations. They grow and they flourish, and they're like, that's all they needed. And I think that she could be the kind of person who does that. But it will be interesting to see also, who is she in the finals with, and what are their stories? You know?
Well, I think a lot of it, Beth, is going to come down to Jonathan, and like, where does he go? Does he ultimately go to bat for Marianne, or does he ultimately say like, Lindsay, like let's take this thing together, right? And I think he's more inclined to do that instead.
Lindsay and Omar and him will leave her in the dust if they need to. I think what they want to do is keep her around while she has an idol, in the hopes that that she could use it on them. So they're going to feign we're still orange strong. But I don't think
it's
that's
almost
correct.
like it's like coming down to like an age thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting
Yeah.
to see like a little divide between the success of the older, wiser players this season, wiser in terms of like life experience. I'm not saying these youngins aren't wise or anything. But like
You know
I
that
definitely
Omar is all of 30, that old bastard.
is he only 30?
Yeah.
Yes. Talking about
Yeah.
getting old. Baby, I'm 45. You don't want to know what's leaking out of my body right now.
You're right. I don't
Yes.
want to know that information. But you know what I mean? I guess not like age, but like maturity. And so I kind of put like I'm starting to see like a line down the middle of like these are the more mature people in the cast, and these are like the Chanels, the Tories, the Mariannes, the Highs, even in terms
Romeo.
of Romeo, yeah, Lydia tonight. And how like this life experience is kind of making these older players, and I put that in quotation marks because it's all relative, but they're just playing a little closer to the chest and a little safer, and I think it's working out for them.
What I like about this season is that we really seem to have a mixture of people who like to play like an old school-esque kind of game with a new school-esque kind of game, and the people who are managing both would be the people like Drea, for example, who are doing a little bit of both, I think are ultimately going to be more successful in the long run, if you can still maintain it. But the people who are strictly in one camp or the other, I think they're the ones who are going to have the biggest struggles because they're a big threat for one reason or another, or they're not going to have enough of that winner's equity when they get to the finals to be like, well, I did this. And then like, that's great. You played an old school game. This is a new school game. How did you fit here, right? Or you played such a new school game that you burned so many bridges and nobody has loyalty to you. Why would they vote for you? Right. So it's going to be really interesting to see who ultimately comes out top. But I have to say, I think this is a really great cast. And I don't know who's going to win. This is one of the few seasons where I'm sitting back and I'm like, yeah, I could see a case for Marianne. I could see a case for Mike, Drea,
certainly,
and High,
certainly.
and Omar. It's like there's so many people I could say, and there's not a Heather from last season. There's not someone who is just so invisible that they're not there. And the people who were quote unquote invisible, the Rockstars and Romeos, had a huge episode tonight. So we're gonna see them in a way that we didn't see Heather before she got the boot.
All these people are just so dang rootable is the conundrum here, because like we got and this is why I love that we got a 2-hour episode tonight. I know it's past Allison's bedtime, but I think it was worth it. We got so many good like character moments tonight.
You know, I got a bed box, right? A baby box next to me I could sleep in.
Can you fit in it?
I bet you could.
Cloud was next to me during the Big Brother Canada show Saturday. I got a big PetSmart box. I put some pillows in it and a blanket. I put his little butt in there and he slept till almost the end of the show, then helped us close it out.
But like I loved the High and Romeo segment tonight. Just connecting on like an LGBT level and just like the differences in how like High was raised to be himself authentically compared to Romeo, like having to kind of hide a part of himself from his family of immigrants and stuff like that. Also, High definitely met his partner on Grindr, not Tinder. 2 blurry photos.
For sure.
Okay.
100%.
Come on.
Grandma over here needs to know the difference between the Grindr and the Tinder because I don't get it.
So Tinder is like in straight world, Tinder is very much so like for the hookup, right? But Tinder in gay world is like very relationship oriented because we have Grindr, which is an app like that is literally just for hooking up. But there's a lot of blurry photos and no bios, if you will, as High said tonight. I was like, I saw a tweet that was like, we were this close to somebody mentioning Grindr on Survivor.
He did, because he went like this, because we met on Tinder.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you met the Grindr. But here's the thing, Allison, you know how on Tinder they measure by the mile? Oh, you're within like 10 miles of this person. Grindr measures by the foot. You are 50 feet away from this person. So you'll be in the grocery store. and
Wait a
like
minute.
he did, like the little grinder sound. And this is only for like gay men, but
Yeah.
Why are you giving out your location to people you don't know and to 5 feet away from you?
because
What's
it's
wrong with you
gay
people?
men, not straight scary men.
Okay,
Although
well,
gay
still,
men are scary
you
sometimes
there
too.
could
But...
there's
Some are
some
just
crazy
get
gay
some.
men out there, and
Oh, I know.
and
I
crazy
know.
straight guy.
They're
Well,
men.
I'm crazy. You don't want. There should be an app for when I'm 5 feet from you.
It's called.
I'm glad we have this.
It's got a
screen in
restraining
between us.
order.
It's called
Yes.
Alciner.
Allison app, the Appison. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's a mystery
Yeah.
to me. I don't know the
Because
thingies
it's
with
purely
that.
an app that you get on when you want to hook up with someone like
It's
in
literally
that
just
moment.
the-
It's literally
the
like,
hookup.
okay, you're down, I'm down. Where are we going to do it? Let's go have sex. Like
Your
that's what
body
the
is
app
a
is.
temple, people. It deserves to be worshipped. Don't
Oh, it
sell yourself
Oh, it can be
Right. I
worshipped
can
by
see so
people
much- I
5
know
feet
it can
away
be.
from you.
Exactly.
You can worship
Yeah.
me all you
Maybe.
want, but still, get some standards and boundaries.
Oh, the-
Anyway, good for you,
Believe
Hi,
me.
for meeting your partner on Grindr.
Sorry, I
Okay,
go
first
into
off,
mom
when-
mode.
oh,
We all know the truth. We
Yeah.
knew.
First off,
Um,
Go ahead,
Go
Adrian.
ahead, Adrian.
yeah, when he first mentioned, like when he starts talking about when he first mentioned that starts talking about that story, I thought I was going to a much more darker tone, but then he said, "Oh, I think that's when he met his boyfriend," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought I was going to something more darker than that. I was like, "Oh, is this going to get serious?" Oh no, but it got into a
Yeah.
much more like emotional, more tone, and I. Can I just say, I guarantee if this was a two-parter episode, I know that moment would get cut out for sure from 41.
Yeah, definitely. But like it's interesting because like and this is me just like reading way too into the edit, but I feel like the attention is never fully on High. You know what I mean? Like anytime it's on him, it's like very much so in like a tizzy, like distraction, like what am I gonna do? Like stressed out kind of thing. So like even tonight when we like started hearing the story about like him and his partner meeting, it was actually a Romeo segment. It was just like the beginning part to like tell that conversation instead. It kind of reminded me of and maybe this is like winner's edit for Romeo, maybe, but it reminded me of this is so nerdy. It reminded me of in Survivor Cambodia, Second Chances, when Andrew Savage started like tearing up about his wife and how he met, and like it had like the whole Bion tribe just like weeping, and then it shows like Jeremy like walking off because he's like too emotional thinking about what's her name,
Val.
Thank you. But that story was to get Jeremy off like on the beach by himself to show like a winner's edit type of like, I'm doing this for my family. So maybe this is like Romeo starting to come into his own as a player in this game. And I'm really liking Romeo so far as a character, like a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm here for it. So we'll see.
This was a very underrated. I think a lot of people will go, oh yeah, like Romeo had a good moment and that kind of thing. But I think it's really important to think about what his moments were, not just that he had this dig woman.
I even
The
said that
OG.
tonight. He goes,
Dig
"That's the
woman."
way you dig," and I'm like, "What? He's not going to say dig, woman, dig?
Climb,
That's
woman,
just for the older
climb.
white women?
Yeah, right.
Climb over those big balls.
Yeah, get on that big testicle. It's hairless. It's like a big.
It's blue. Get on them blue balls.
Get the blue ball. Get the nude ball.
Grab onto Mike's feet. Go.
Anyway, going back to
Take
Romeo.
that foot to the
yeah.
face, woman. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Y'all know my mind. I'm like a 13-year-old little boy. I saw those big old balls roll up, and I thought, finally, I'm going to get to hear, Jeff say big balls. And he doesn't say it. He says balls one time. He calls it a big boulder. And it's not a boulder, Jeff. Those are big
It's
balls.
because he knew your ass was going to call
One
him
was-
out on how
One's blue.
He said, yo, I want
One's
to call them balls. And
blue.
Allison Kelly is going
And
to
the
sit
other one
back.
looks like a big hairless.
What if like during that, like when he's
You're
explaining it
sliding
to
all
us,
over it.
he's like, and I'm a big fan of My Weekly Meltdown, so I'm only gonna say it once. Balls.
Balls.
The rest of the day, I'm saying boulders. This is Survivor 42. Come on in, guys.
I could dig it. I need a Jeff Probst cameo with him just saying,
Is he on cameo?
Finley's balls.
We should
or
look into that. I'm
something.
sure it's like $500 or something
Well,
ridiculous.
no, it's not
I'm
worth that
looking.
much.
Did all these lights just went out behind you?
Okay,
Outside.
that's not the ghosts that live with me. That's the timer on the outside.
Okay. I just got Concernicus that maybe your neighbors lost power, which means maybe we would say goodbye to you very soon.
Wishful thinking, but no.
So Jeff
okay, so
Probst
going-
is on Cameo, but sorry, Beth. He's on Cameo, but he's not taking requests at this time.
Well, I imagine.
He ain't that busy.
So
Works
going
twice
back
a
to
year.
Romeo, I think not only did he have a good moment because of like the whole, talking about him being gay and not being open, like that's a very important character moment that we didn't need to have in this episode, but I'm thankful that we did. Like they wouldn't put that in there if it wasn't necessary for his character arc at this point in the game, right?
Yeah.
But I also think what's great for his edit here are two other things. One, he makes a really important bond with Hai, and everyone thinks they just got rid of Hai's number one. And I think that we're going to see Romeo take that spot. I could see the two of them working very closely together, which will be really interesting. And two, we also see him start playing very aggressively all of a sudden. He has this like second wind. He has, you know what? I'm not going to sit back and just say no. I'm going to kind of go out there and say things. And, you see him kind of talk with Tori about like, why would I cool down? Like, you're all going to see the real Romeo now, which he's been a backseat kind of player on his tribe. And I can see him now that he had a little bit of safety and he kind of feel like, oh, I have some agency here. He and Omar actually had some very similar feelings. Omar just had like a much more impressive story about not having a vote and he saved his tribe mate and all those different kinds of things. But there was a fire that was lit under both of them under the guise of safety that I think is going to be really interesting to watch.
Well, I guess with like the whole like Romeo Hai friendship, like, and Beth, I think that's a really good point. Like, who is the new Lydia moving forward for Hai? It very well could be Romeo, but. And I don't mean this in a sexual way, but like, who is the passenger and who's the driver in that scenario?
Right.
Like who is leading the other in terms of navigating in this game? And maybe it is Hai because like we got the whole like Romeo learning from Hai tonight, as like confidence and stuff like that. But if Romeo
has more
he's
of the
able to
connections.
weaponize Hai. Yeah, exactly. Like, so if he's able to kind of like utilize, like, teach me how to be a gay, Hai, please, and like use that as like, I don't know anything about anything, teach me, and like use that to like get information from him, and then like turn on him when the time is right, type of thing. That would be a game-winning move for me for Romeo, is if he does something like that. Yeah.
Great.
Gosh, like all my notes are like checked off already. I also liked the segment of Exile Island with Roxroy. As a photographer, like I know it was like eyesight and like just like taking mental pictures of like once in a lifetime things like that are so like important to like. It's a practice in mindfulness, it's a practice in just being present in the moment. And we've seen all season long for Roxroy, he's just so unable to do that because he's so like aggressive at camp with like building the shelter and like not getting along with people. So I think that he really needed that. And I thought it was a really beautiful segment and character moment for him.
It really made me see him. I saw him in a different light and I actually felt he was more relatable and I actually, like him. I kind of like him now. So,
yeah,
I feel like the whole, Tori getting pissed, because he smashes the time thingy, reverses time, and Tori gets pissed off about it, whatever. And because those two just, I don't know, they're like oil and vinegar, whatever they call it, you know what I'm saying? But
oil and water.
Yeah, but she's okay with it after she wins immunity. Oh, it's okay. When they hug, it's okay.
That was, I tweeted about this.
It's okay.
It's a really interesting thing. Well, we sent you there in the hopes that you would take advantage of something and save yourself.
Oh,
Bitch, he did. And
What is
just
that?
because you happened, like, Like, don't be mad that he took advantage of the very power that you said you wanted him to take advantage of. Like, what are you doing?
Here's the thing, Tori, don't be upset at somebody for taking a chance and saving themselves from harm, because some people do that.
It's called Survivor.
Immunity.
Honestly, if I was on Survivor and then I was in the role of smashing the hourglass and I saw someone being upset at me, I'd be like, "Oh, what's wrong? You're mad? Are you upset that I finally got this advantage?" Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If I were
That's
Rockstar,
true.
I
y'all
agree.
know that I would be sassy as fuck. But if anybody ever said that to me, like, we thought that, by sending you there, we sent you there in full faith that you would, like, we didn't know what that power was. We thought it could be helpful for you. Thank you. Yeah, it was very helpful for me. I'm safe now. I wasn't going to be safe before. I haven't been a part of the conversations like you guys have had the benefit of being able to meet each other. You had a whole bonding feast. You had all these things. You now have you have nutrients to help you win this immunity challenge, and I'm rooting for every single one of you. So good luck. I got mine. Thanks.
Yeah,
and then I would have
and
walked
can we
over.
also can we stop pretending that there is like a really strong incentive to not break the hourglass, right? Like the only incentive for that person to make in that moment is, am I safe or am I not safe? I'm going to go with whatever option is safe,
I'm not breaking it if I'm not safe.
especially with like how much more fast-paced modern Survivor is in only 26 days instead of 39. Like you have to assume that like it's going to be a totally different dynamic like in another day or so anyway. So
here's how they tweak this twist a little bit more. They don't tell the people this, but they tell the person when they're on the island, you're going to be immune regardless, but you could smash this if you want to make the other people go up.
I like that
and
better.
if you smash it, we'll tell people you got immunity because of this, or you will just let them know that because you completed these 2 days, you got immunity, or you did some challenge that allowed you to get immunity. You get to choose which one do you want. That and now incentivizes the person to figure out which relationships do I care about the most on this island.
On an equal playing ground. Yeah.
I think that's the way you
really
do
great.
this twist in the future. But they can't do this twist in the future because now everyone's going to expect it. So
yeah, exactly. I will say I did enjoy like the hourglass of it all more this season, and it's because of the even edit. It's because we've seen it in action before, so we kind of knew what was coming. Question for you guys though, and Adrian, I want to hear your thoughts on this. So the that three-way power of Hai, Drea, and Lindsay, like we saw it brought up tonight. But or was it I thought oh yeah, Hai, Drea, and Lindsay. Yeah. Where do you think that is going to go? Because like they mentioned it tonight, but like it didn't really do anything. So I'm like, is it like a ticking time bomb of sorts? I don't know.
I think it's smart for Hai to say like, I don't want to go against them immediately. I should just work with them until I'm ready to get rid of them. I think it's smart for Hai to do that. My problem is I don't know how Drea or Lindsay view the amulet. I like the amulet advantage. It's like it's hard to like complicate, like it's so complex to think about. Should I betray like one of the people who has amulets and be selfish to have an idol, or do I help like the other two people like by giving them my other amulet to like have like an extra bar of safety? It's like it's complicated to like legit think through with this advantage.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
All right, I want to update our drafts before we head on out of here. So here's our patron whoops, that's not our patrons. Here's our patron draft. So yep, Rory lost his second person tonight. Sorry for your loss, Rory. Adrian, your team is still hanging in there.
My team is a mess though, like
I don't know about that. You have Mike, and I think Hai is going to be an interesting one to watch. I wouldn't count him out by any means. Yeah, well, that's one person out of three, though.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to pick a winner on my team, it would be Mike. Like,
totally, definitely. Yeah. And then here, sorry, Adrian, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like Rory may have a good shot. I feel like Matt could have a really good shot with Omar. Liza, it's like an I don't know. So everyone's team is on every even playing field for me.
But that's the whole
Like,
point about
Yeah.
this season,
Yeah.
right? Is like we could sit back and go, oh, we think like Marianne's winning the season, or we think Mike's winning the season, or whoever. But like at the end of the day, I like that we don't have a clear idea of who's running the show. That's what I love the most. I don't know what the editing's trying to tell us, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Here is our draft between the three of us. So I lost my first pick tonight, Lydia. I was very strong on Lydia.
Second
in the...
pick.
and you're second with Daniel.
Wait, what?
You lost your second pick tonight. You've lost Daniel.
Oh
last week.
no, like my first chronologically that I picked.
Oh.
My apologies.
Sorry.
I didn't understand that.
I was you're good. I was very high on Lydia. I drafted her first, even before Marianne. Although I did want Chanel first. I remember Beth beat me to that. But yeah. So I don't know. Not feeling. My team is really risky right now. I think Beth and Allison are overall in a much better position than I
Yeah,
am.
we have more people left in the
team.
Yeah.
What a thunk.
So there we
How's it always end up like that? I mean, I don't know.
Also,
Maybe should go to Vegas.
You should. I also want to give a shout out to Allison real quick because it's not official until tomorrow for Big Brother Canada, but I did want to share that Allison is doing very well in the BB Canada draft.
What did I do?
It's
What's
crazy.
going on?
It's uploading right now.
You still have all the members of your team, Allison.
Oh man, I'm just
uploading.
killing it, and I don't even put any effort into picking these people. That's the problem. You guys sit there and
Yeah,
you
here's the
analyze
BB
everything.
Can 10 draft. So after
Oh,
tomorrow,
my
Moose
God.
will
Stare
be
at
gone.
these people.
Yeah, very impressive.
Why do you have Moose already blacked out?
Because Moose is going tomorrow.
Is he? Who won Vita? Well, don't tell me. I don't want to. I'll find out.
Yeah, we'll go through it all. But speaking of BB Can 10, so tomorrow we're gonna try a little something interesting, a little different since it was kind of a slow week. That tends to happen when Gino is HOH. So we're gonna do a live watch party of the episode tomorrow, and we're sending the link to all of our patrons. So if you want to join us for the live watch party, and so we're gonna chat throughout the episode of things that we noticed and talk through the commercial breaks and everything. And then after the eviction's over, we'll just HOH speculate scenarios for a few minutes and talk about other things that weren't shown on the show and everything. But yeah, just wanted to try a little something for eviction night tomorrow night. So if you're a patron, check your email or go to patreon.com and just check our posts, and we should have a Zoom link for you there.
It's something we're gonna start. We're practicing for in the future. Doing Andrew Gibson and I are going to do some live stuff for Big Brother proper in the future, Big Brother US, and Tyler. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
Yep. So I think that's everything here. Who do we think is going next week? I guess we can end the show with that.
I'm gonna have to say Chanel.
Tori.
I don't know. Chanel walking up to them on the beach, and
That was awkward. That was so
everyone really
awkward.
likes you. Mouse fart. That's what I said in the chat. Did you get that, Tyler? It was so quiet you could hear a mouse fart.
Just a little.
But she was
no,
also
I,
awkward. She didn't be like, "Oh, that's so nice," and try to start a conversation.
She's
She just
not
was like,
stupid. She is
No,
not.
that's
"No, but there's such thing as you can absolutely manipulate back and start getting in on those conversations and make them stay there." She did nothing to want to make them stay there. That's
she
on
walked
her.
up. She walked
That's
up.
run up
That's
to
it.
them like a crazy person, be like, "What's
Grew
up,
legs and
guys?"
walked off. I'm gonna go bold and say Jonathan is going next week as the quote unquote merge boot. Although I count Lydia as the merge boot. There's no reason that she is not counted.
She's not
as the
jury?
merge boot.
Is she
No,
not
she's
jury?
No.
Oh, she's not.
No.
Why not? They could emerge, right? No, it's not a
weird.
merge. Okay, it's
That's
Who
weird.
knows? Who knows?
Jeff didn't whisper that to me.
True. Jeff whisper sweet nothings to us next week. But all right, well, same as always. Like us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Check us out on Patreon. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I think that's it. Anything else anybody needs to say?
Nope.
Why don't you subscribe to us on My Weekly Meltdown on YouTube? You will get notifications for when we go live. Become a patron. We're going to start getting more involved with the patron, guys. I apologize. It's something that we are really going to do. Beth is the head of our Patreon page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mostly for
Also-
the summer.
Yeah.
Because the next month and a half for me is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
I got on there
exactly.
and played a little bit today to kind of figure some stuff out.
One more thing, the Real World Homecoming dropped on Paramount Plus today. So if you want to
Just watch 2
rewatch
episodes.
if you want to rewatch the old season before Homecoming premieres next week, which we will be covering once it comes on, and you want to get caught up to speed on that, it's now for you to stream. So do your homework and come back here and we'll talk about all kinds of good controversial stuff. So all right, well, everybody have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch party for BB Can 10. Check Patreon for that, and everybody have a good rest of your night. Take care. See ya.